right. I splurged on a creeper. Does not mean I'm a creeper. I put some pressure on that block there underneath the oil pan to take the pressure off the engine. I started it and then I put it in gear with my foot on the brake, testing that vibration. It does seem like it alleviated it a little bit. So my next step is to get underneath here, swing the jack around so I can use this thing from the other side while I'm under there looking at it in this direction with the flashlight. And as I move that up and down, I want to look and see if there's any movement with the bracket or the engine mount or any of that stuff. And I've also discovered, like when I go over speed bumps, I got a little bit of that clank thing happening again, which I don't understand. So I'm going to check my caliper bolts and everything else I've been doing. And it also looks like there's a little bit of an oil thing going on. It looks like it's coming from the part that the oil filter screws onto. So I'm going to double check, make sure that's tight. And yeah, just go around, tighten everything. And if I have enough time, I might lower the shackle bolts in the rear, but we all know what a fiasco that can turn into. I've got other things I need to do here at the shop today too. It's a Saturday. But I picked up this thing. Now, I've made a lot of dollies in the past, especially when I was in the film industry. I just bought this at Harbor Freight because it was cheap and easy. I didn't have to make it. So I can roll that toolbox out from over there instead of carrying it all the time. This guy never got back to me, so I might just have to remove that. I don't know if I should keep these stickers because these guys really messed me up. And this guy, it's pretty crazy. If you watch my last video, you'll see what happens this week with the new computer I'm putting in the van. Because I think what that guy does is better, and it's a lot less money. If you send him your computer, it's only going to cost you $100. It cost me $250 to go to this guy, and he didn't even really get it right. So throw money down the drain, but at least you'll know. So you'll be able to trust me on that one pretty soon. Stick around. All right, so that red thing there is the bracket. There's no weight on the engine. I'm going to pull the trigger here. There we go. So you can see right there, everything's going up, but there's no play. So that engine mount and bracket, 100% rock hard, solid. So there's no play in that. There's no movement in the bushing or how it's bolted to the subframe or at the bushing or the bracket to the motor. I figured that was the case because I put it in there, and that was pretty tough. We'll go on to the next thing I'm looking at here, the oil on the pan, and both my CVs have oil coming out of them again. Not terrible. I'm going to wipe them down again today, and you guys are going to have to explain this one to me. I mean, these were two, new in the box CV axles. They were given to me. I can't complain. At least they didn't cost me any money. But that's highly annoying to me. I mean, I just put them in. And also the brakes. I really like the gray look of these when I put them in, and so I didn't put any paint on them, but you could see the rust already from the rain. I kind of want to clean that off and put some paint on them. Maybe there's a clear high temp paint that'll work on those, because it does look tough like that instead of painting them red, And again, the only reason I want to paint them is because I don't like looking at rust. You can see some grease on that boot there. I'm going to wipe that down, but all that grease inside where the torsion bar key goes in. By the way, that shim there is because this torsion bar doesn't fit super snug in there. It's aftermarket. It was like that when I bought it. And then over here, our issue is this lower it's been throwing all that. You guys know I cleaned that whole knuckle there last time I took everything apart. So grease is blowing out of this thing all over that thing. That's ridiculous. On top of the lower ball joint there. So I'm going to wipe all that down and see what happens. But I don't understand that. Don't understand that. And then there is, get you a wider angle here. So underneath the oil pan here, doesn't leave a drip or anything. This is all new. See, it's a little wet there. A little drip on the thing there, and then this flashlight. It's very hard. You know, the creeper is comfortable, but it raises me up to the point where I can't slide around like I did on the cardboard. So I'm gonna go up there and tighten that nut. You can see what's happening here. And this, a lot of this could just be coming down from the valve covers, which I've been meaning to replace those gaskets, and I should have done it last time. There's always a drip on that sensor bracket there. None of this is serious. Just, you know, I wiped all that down when I put it in, and now it's there again, so it bothers me. Alright, this here's the computer I'm sending to Evan in South Dakota. Apparently this is for the 2nd gen. He has one for me, but what I'm going to do is, when Cliff sent this to me, he cut this out of the vehicle. So I have these caps, and there's a gasket in here. So I'm going to pull these off and just send him the computer, because there's a chance if these gaskets are in good shape, and when I go ahead and pull mine off, there's always that chance that a gasket could be bad or something, right? So this will give me 2 spares. And then when Journeys did their, you know, work, they cracked one of these. So if I can get this off here nicely, then the idea is I've got spares for the covers as well. And the interesting thing about the Journey system, when they do that transfer case, and I haven't eyeballed this at all, but there's a wire they pop this cover off and they put a wire in there somehow. So I'm going to have to be real careful when I, you know, go ahead and remove my computer and put the new one in. So just something to be aware of. I'm just taking you along for the journey here and seeing what's going to happen with this. I don't know how far I got to take this out. Never did it before. Looks like there's still... I don't know, maybe this just pulls out now. I don't know. First time. There it is. So there's this, there's the gasket. So I want to have these as extras. I'll clean these up. This way if I foul mine up when I take them out. You know, I'm repeating myself, but there's good reason for it. There we go. So pretty good shape, looks like to me. And now I'll send him this computer. He's giving me a $50 core on this. So, not the full $100, but hey, $50 is $50. So just to show you here, see right there, this cover is broken. That was Tom. You know, he pointed out to me, he put a zip tie on it, but the plastic snapped off down here. So I got those 2 extras, and I'll make one of them work for this. One other little thing here, I kept this cover on here to protect these, you know, where you can connect the battery at the top. And one of the reasons I wanted a battery that had dual posts was I can mount things there. But the other thing is that when I run my compressor, the clamps for the compressor, that's much better purchase on there than on these things. I know I can play this. Loretta. It's my buddy's band back home in Jersey. Should I name the band Loretta? Oh! Alright, so on that last rib, I'm not going to be able to show this to you, I don't think, but there's this rubber split right where I'm pointing, and right, you can see it right there, right with the tip of my finger. There's a split in the rubber. How the heck does that happen? Brand new CV. I mean, I have to disconnect all the stuff to take this out just to put a rubber boot on there, and then obviously have to repack it, right? Right? Well, that's it for now. I don't know. I was underneath there. I wiped everything clean. I can't find anything loose. Where the transmission meets the engine, there was some weeping. Might just be from that long drive I did last week to Arizona and back. I don't know. But what do I know? I just don't. But thanks again for being here. You guys should spend one day every month going underneath your van and wiping things down and looking for stuff. Take it easy.